This photo right here is some motherfucker's attempt to scam me on some Archie comics. Welcome to the Paper Chase channel, another scam video. You know, I guess the more you look, the chances for getting scammed or getting taken advantage of or try to get taken advantage of, the more that's going to happen. If you could hit the like button if you enjoy this type of content. So yeah, like 3 videos ago, I did a video on avoiding a scam online. Well, this time I actually bought the books, drove an hour to get them, and I'm going to tell you guys the story, show you a little bit of the footage, and you let me know if you think that this was a scam or not. Another fun thing that in this batch of books that you'll see whenever I was going through them, I found a book that I've been looking for, a grail of mine that I've been looking for a while. It was so beat up that I really was on the fence about even keeping it. But I was so pissed by the end of picking these books up that I didn't care what was in there. I just wanted my money back. Okay, so what happened here? So one of the ways I find comics is online estate sales. And sometimes estate sales will do pre-sales and sometimes they don't. Most of the time they don't do pre-sales. But I always ask nonetheless to beat the crowd to get to the comics or whatever it is that you're looking for, to get there first, because that's the most important thing. If you're not first, you're last. So I get an email saying that there is an estate sale coming up near me with comic books in them, and this is the photo right here that I see. Do you see what I see in this photo? Now there's a pretty valuable book sitting right on top of this stack of comics here. Now, if you know all the various types of keys there are, key issues don't typically just isolate to first appearance of characters. There's multiple reasons why a book can be valuable. But if you look in the top left corner of the photo, you're going to see a book that is titled Betty and Me, and this is issue number 16. This is what is known in the comic community as an innuendo cover. Back in the day, back whenever America was a little more publicly wholesome, artists and writers would input things into artwork and dialogue in the covers that would be sexually suggestive. This has created in comics its own subtype of collecting, and they're a little bit harder to get, not often in good condition, and they hold a good bit of value. So this book right here, even in very, very poor condition, is probably $150 book. From the looks of it, when I saw this photo, it looked to me at a minimum of a 3.0, unless there was something crazy wrong with it. But also notice that this book was accompanied by, 100 other Silver Age, Bronze Age comic books. So I messaged the estate sale, the company putting on the estate sale. I said, hey, look, is there any way for me to buy these comics before y'all's sale start? And shockingly enough, they replied back with yes. And I said in the message specifically asking, are all the books in that photo still available? And they say yes. It's very important that if you're talking to these people in any kind of transaction, be very, very clear in your verbiage for what you're saying to these people, because that is your proof if something were to go wrong. And I said, okay, great. I said, how much are you selling the comics for? She says, $1 a piece. This is an hour away from me, and actually it's an hour and 10 minutes for me to drive. So to me, look, it was worth it. I can make a video about it. I got a cool comic that, could potentially be worth, depending on the condition, $400 or $500. 99 other Silver Bronze Age comics that maybe could have some value to it. I said, that sounds good. I said, I will buy them all for $1, and I will pick them up before your estate sale. So I Venmo the person the money. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to blast this estate sale because it's innocent until proven guilty, though I'm pretty sure somebody's guilty in this scenario. Again, you guys be the judge. This was, you can tell it was kind of like a family thing. It was a lady and her son. And look, I'm not trying to cripple people's businesses that they've worked hard to try to make for themselves. But you're not going to scam me. We'll get into how I handled it as we go forward. So anyway, she has the money. I drive an hour and 20 minutes away. I pull up. All right, so we got the books. Here's what they look like. It's about 100 Silver Age comics. These things are beat to shit. Hopefully the one book that I'm actually here for is in here. Hopefully it's not that beat up, but I've got a feeling it is. But honestly, $100 for everything, depending on the condition of that book. I mean, this is probably maybe a break-even deal. We'll see. Holy shit. Oh, it's f***ed up. Oh, it's beat to shit. Son of a bitch. Come on, man. Took the book out? Are you serious? They took the book out? So there was me going through the books. You saw the Batman 251, which is a great book. Been on my list for so long. I literally been checking this book every day on eBay at some point, laying in bed, seeing if there's a great deal. I would have loved for both of those books to be in there. And you know, that might have even been a $100 book. But the problem is the Joker's face was scribbled on. That cover is, Joker's face is that cover. The sinister look on the Joker's face is why that cover is as popular and as iconic as it is. So I get that low grade is better than no grade, but when you cover up the best part of a book, do you really even want it or need it anymore? I went through those books almost 3 times because I wanted, before I lost my shit, I wanted to make sure I was not falsely accusing anybody. So they also threw in 50 other coverless books. I was like, okay, well, maybe it was one of the coverless ones and it snapped off and it's in there somewhere. That book was nowhere in that lot. So I call her up and I say, hey, I said, look, I'm going through the books here. And I said, there's a book missing. I said, well, which book is that? I said, it's Betty and Me 16. And she says, oh, well, you know, she's like, well, that's all the books right there. I said, no. I said, well, in your photo, and I asked you specifically if all the books in the photo are still available for sale. You said yes. I said, there was a more expensive book that was sitting on the top of that photo. I said, it's the whole reason why I decided to take the gamble on this lot here, because I knew that that book was included. And at worst case scenario, I can recoup some of my money with that one book. And she continued to say, well, no. She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I don't know. She's like, that's all the books. Nothing happened. She's like, I don't know if the owner maybe took it out or something. And I was like, okay. So initially I thought, okay, so maybe the owner took it out. But then I was like, well, hold on. But the owner doesn't take the estate sale photos. You guys take the estate sale photos. So you're telling me that the only book in this entire lot that was really worth something was on the cover of your photo to advertise for comics. And now that's the only book that is not here. I said, nah, I said, this isn't cool. I said, I want my money back. And she's like, well, I'm sorry. She's like, you already left the property. She's like, you know, we can't just, you know, give you your money back. And I was like, no, I didn't. I said, I'm outside. I'm in my car. She's like, well, you already taken the books. I said, you gave me 100 books. I said, you can come out here and count 100 comics. You're going to get all of your comics back. She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, there's no refunds. And then she could tell from my voice I was starting to get more and more pissed. And eventually 5 minutes after back and forth, she says, okay, well, how about this? She's like, what if we give you $20 back? And then she's like, I promise we'll call you for any comics in advance in the future. So you can refund $20, but you can't refund everything. Nah, that don't make sense to me. But my words to her was, you know what? That's nice of you to offer that. I said, but that's not keeping me calm. I said, I'm pretty freaking pissed right now. She's like, okay, all right, I'm coming outside. So she comes outside. Look, I said, I've written maybe one bad review in my entire life. I don't like messing with people's businesses because it's a lot of people's livelihood. And I don't want one bad review to kill something off of something. I don't have concrete evidence, but I'm letting you know that this is fishy. And I drove an hour to get this shit, and it's not what you advertised. It's like, all right, look, let's go back in. I'm going to count all the books out for you, and I'll give you your money back. This is a lady and her son there. They were probably worried about me, like, losing my crap and, like, doing something physically to them. I'd never in any way threaten them at all. Would never do that. Not in my character to do that. But just to add to it, when she was counting the books, when she was taking them out of the box and looking through them, you know, I'm picking up on little things that she's doing that I'm like, hold on, I'm like, you're in an estate sale. People literally pay you to go through their stuff to try to get the most money from it. And you don't know anything about comics. So what I noticed is when she actually gets to some of the Archie books that involve swimming covers, like the Betty and Me 16, I can see her slow down a little bit because it's just like subconsciously she knows what that cover looks like. She also slowed down when she got to the Batman 251. The very least, it's false advertisement. It's wrong, especially when I tell you I'm about to drive an hour away to get something. Then on top of that, to refuse my money back. So we did the exchange. She refunded me fully. And now I'm here with nothing but this story and a pissed off video. So I want to know from you guys what you think of the situation. To me, it's 100% sketchy. Always make sure you have what you paid for before you drive off. Lesson learned is just because it's an estate sale company doesn't mean shady shit can't go on. So, see you on the next page.